starting with your strap lying down. Have your strap in your hand though, because we're going to start in Viparita Karani. Viparita Karani, rather, which is legs in the air. If you don't want to do legs in the air, then lie on your back with your feet flat on the floor and your knees bent, but hip distance apart just. What I'm trying to get is the sensation of the whole length of your spine here on the floor. So Viparita Karani is just a nice one to do. Use your strap to hold your feet up. And you can have your legs a little bent because they're not terribly open at first thing. So if you have your legs bent, but keep your feet flexed and try and keep them parallel to the ceiling. And if you can, just move your knees to open them a little bit more. And move your thighs a little bit more away from your abdominal area, just so there's more of a right angle there. And then use the strap to just gently hold, but have your arms softened onto the floor, so you're not really tensed up here. So yes, as I say, I'm really doing either of these positions. What we're trying to feel is our back body on the floor. It's like the pantomime thing, he's behind you. We never really think about what our back looks like. I very rarely even look at it in the mirror to see what I look like from behind, which is probably unwise, but we don't really think about our backs until they give us a problem. But it's one of the strongest parts of your body. It's obviously involving your spine, which is on the back of your body more. So if you now just lie here and move down through from your cervical area of your spine, your neck, you can feel that's like curve there, which is your cervical curve. It's your secondary curve, that one. It's the one that babies, when they start to learn to lift their head, that's when that curve comes into being. So you've got your smaller vertebrae there, holding on to that big fat head. And then it moves down into your body, your spine. And then, of course, you've got your shoulder girdle, etc., at the top of your back. So feel your shoulder girdle on the floor now. Try and spread your wings just a little bit more if you can. And maybe have a little bit of movement through those little joints there, holding the shoulder girdle onto your spine. Like your coat hanger, really, everything hanging off of that area. So up here we've got some very strong muscles. We'll go into that in a wee bit, but a lot of muscles we spoke about the other day, they're going into your neck, all the 6 muscles holding onto your neck either side, and then you've got your trapeziums, which come up from your shoulder blades into the back of your neck and head. Your deltoids, strong muscles up there that tense up. We know shoulders hold a lot of tension. Usually you feel it on your back of your body when you're holding tension in your shoulders. So try and relax them. Have a little wiggle through your shoulders on the floor. Roll them around a little bit and open up that area of your upper back. So then we move into a thoracic area of our back. It's this primary curve of your back. We'll go into that again in a second. But that's where the curve goes out the way in the middle of your spine there. So it goes out towards your back. It's a rounded back shape. So you're not completely straight in your spine or on your back. You might can feel, because of that slight roundness in the primary curve, that your side body, either side of it, is slightly raised feeling off the floor. You might can feel a very tiny sense of a gap there. So we shouldn't try and straighten those curves too much because they're there for a reason. Moving down your back, we come to your lumbar curve, which is at the back of your waist there. That's more pronounced in a lot of us who have lordosis like I have, where you're a bit duck-backed, but some of you might can feel your back completely flat on the floor there. Again, if there's a little gap there, it's meant to be there. That's the way you're made. And joining the sort of hip area back up the way, up either side, are your latissimus dorsi, which your lat muscles. They're big, fat and strong muscles. Again, we'll go into them in a minute. And then further down from your lumbar curve, the bones in your spine are getting bigger now because they're taking more load. So follow the bones down into your sacral area. And that's the fourth curve in your spine that we don't really feel too much, but it's where our tail tucks under. So when we do our pelvic tilts in a minute, we'll speak about that again. But here we've got big muscles, obviously, as well in the back of the body. Very big, strong muscles. So the back is a really strong powerhouse for you. And it kind of is what holds us all together. If you think that your head, your arms and your legs all come off the core, the front of your body, yes, it does its bit, but the back of the body is where everything really is. That's the scaffolding for the rest of you. So we're going to take the strap away now and just move the legs down. If you're in Viparita Karani, legs in the air, that means you're a little bit younger looking today because you've had your legs up there for a few minutes. That's what the Indian ladies say. Bring your legs back down one at a time to the floor then, feet on the floor if you're there already, that's great. I'm going to take 3 bridges now, so pop the feet on the floor and think of that lumbar and sacral curve now as you just have a little practice with the pelvic tilt. So drawing up the front of the body to expand the back of the body and tilt there. So you're tucking your tailbone under even more. That's just to support the lower back when you move. Feels a bit odd because actually what you're doing is opening the back of the body really, if you think of it with tilting. But it gives a bit more strength when you're moving. So when you're ready, breathing in, going to push into the floor with your feet, move your shins towards the wall ahead of you, opening up through the hip flexors, squeezing the glutes, lifting them up, and opening up into bridge to roll up onto your shoulders, feeling it's a nice back bend here, feeling now. And then softly as you exhale, rolling back down, letting the back gently move back down onto the floor. And you inhale, find your pelvic tilt again, press into the feet, gently moving up, rolling through the spine, moving all the weight up to your shoulders and into your feet, obviously, and then back down again. Take one more bridge. Thinking of that pelvic tilt, feeling a nice open feeling maybe now in your back. Bit creaky mine this morning, trying to get up and down. We've been doing a lot of lifting. So the back is our area that we use when we lift things, obviously. Might feel it's your hands and your arms, but it's your back doing all the work. Oh, everything moves back into the spine. After the third one, come down to the floor. And then we're going to take up Anasana. So take your knees in one at a time and come into wind pose up Anasana. Hands behind your thighs or on your shins, whichever. And then just start to rock from side to side across your back when you're ready. So Apanasana is the fetal position, really, if you think of it, apart from the fact our head's not in that curved position forward. But the fetal position is where you see the primary curve. The primary curve is already there before we're born. It's the shape of the baby in the womb, obviously. So the primary curve's there essentially to protect your organs. So you can see why that's made in the womb. The baby's already made to be protected. And just have a little massage over your back and then bring your feet back down to the floor one at a time. We do that because of our SI joints at the bottom of our spine there, remember. One at a time means we don't risk injuring them with too much weight from our legs. Then we're doing some toe taps. So bring your knees up now to right angles. So your hips and knees are in line now, and your feet are ahead of you. So it's a right angle at the hip and a right angle up behind your knee. And then just draw in your tummy muscles before you do anything else. Think of that Uddiyana Bandha thing we've been doing. So drawing in and slightly up, really engaging the core muscles there. Again, what we're doing is supporting the lower back and that SI joint area. And then toe tap when you're ready if you haven't already started. So just gently lowering one leg, bringing it back up, and then lowering the other. Try it on the breath. So on the inhale or exhale, see, I'm not going to tell you which breath to do, but try on the breath. One movement for the in and one movement for the exhale. So see which one you want to do. Normally in yoga, we do inhale is the opening breath and exhale is the closing. But this I do more when I'm doing Pilates, this movement. And I find in Pilates, they do the breath the opposite way. So here they would be exhaling as you lower and inhale as you lift, which kind of makes sense because the back's doing a little bit more possibly on the lift. The muscles are having to do more. But there's quite a lot of strength in either direction. If you feel it now, which part of you is feeling it? Which part of your back particularly are you feeling? As your legs are starting to get heavy now because you've done a few of these, which part of your back can you feel is having to really work hard to not just lift but to stabilize the movement? Because those little joints that join the pelvis to the spine there are not really that big. So it's all the muscles in your lower back that are having to do this. Okay, let's come back down, feet to the floor. What we're doing now? Oh, we're taking bridge and holding it this time. So when you're ready, pelvic tilt. You can bring the brick in if you really want to, but otherwise we're going to stay up just through our own power and gravity here. Against gravity, rather. So you can shuffle your feet here if you need to. Sometimes I bring mine in a little bit closer once I've got up into bridge, because then I just feel I've got a little bit more strength through the feet to lift me up. And then thinking of the back again. So it's a back bend this, so the front body's really lifted and open. It can't really help therefore with the strength of the lift. So the lift here is all coming from your glutes essentially. Really squeezing and lifting your glutes will take you a little bit higher and open up the front of your hip flexors as well at the same time. So now those curves have gone slightly in the wrong direction, apart from your lumbar curve, which is moving in its normal direction forwards. Okay, and then just lower back down to the floor. Have a full body stretch. And then we're going to roll onto our sides and come up to seated. So take your time moving up, but we're going to need our straps. So have it still close to you. We're going to bring them in now again. So we're going to sit in Dandasana. So Dandasana is staff pose, which is feet flex, switch your legs on, tummy drawn in, use your tailbone to press up, or your sit bones rather, to press into it and gently lift yourself up. You're not ramrod straight here in the back. I still have quite a curve. I can feel it in my lower back. I need to draw my tummy in a little bit just to stop that curve going out too much. But the curve's still in your neck a little bit, but draw your chin in just to give a bit more strength to the back of the neck. And then bring your feet in, bend, and pop the strap round both feet and hold them in your hands. Hold the strap in your hands. So find that nice, strong, tall, seated position again. Draw the tummy in. Draw the shoulders down slightly away from the ears. Draw that spot on the back of your body between your shoulder blades back together. So really engage across the shoulder blades. And then gently move the feet away from you, holding the strap. So your body's not moving, just your feet. And then as you bring your feet back in this time, round your spine forward and allow yourself to roll over your legs. So you don't need to strap for this necessarily, it's just as a tool to help us. If you'd rather do it without it, then please do. So we're rounding into that Apanasana shape, and then we're straightening out the legs and straightening out the spine and lifting up into Dandasana. So I would exhale here as a roll and come into Apanasana, having a little squeeze there in Apanasana. I would inhale as I roll my feet away from me and lift up through the sit bones and find Dandasana. Take a couple more of those, just warming the legs up a little bit. Notice which one you find more easeful, sitting tall or rolled forward. The natural would be rolled forward because of the primary curve. We tend to be getting more of a primary curve nowadays in our bodies because we all sit at the computers or at desks or things for too long. And it actually accentuates that primary curve feeling. Okay, so then coming into cross legs now. And bringing your hands out in front of you, clasping the hands. I'm going to do seated cat-cow. So when you're ready, turning the palms away from you as you inhale and lifting your hands up above your head as much as you're comfortable. And then as you exhale, rolling down, turning the palms back towards you as you roll down into a cat back over your legs. Inhaling up, turning the palms, reaching up into a little bit of a back bend feeling. Exhale, rolling down, turning the palms towards you and into a cat shape. Take one more on this side, then we'll change our legs because as we do this, you're actually using a little bit more of one side of your back than the other, just because we're not symmetrical when we're cross legs. So the bottom of your back is using more on one side than the other. So that's why we're going to have to do counter pose of the other leg. So roll back up to neutral, change legs, and take it the same thing again 3 times on this side. So inhaling, moving up. Exhaling, tucking the tummy, finding that second curve, the primary curve, and rolling into cat. Using your cervical curve then to lift the head up, the weight of the head. As I say, I've been watching Annabelle, just learning that at the moment, the lifting of the head when they lie flat on their tummy. It's quite interesting to see when the body decides it's strong enough to do that sort of thing. Take one more of those if you've not done 3, just to make it even. And then come back down to seated, still cross legged. We're going to fold forward now, so rolling forward if you want to, or take the tummy back and lean forward from the hip flexors because we're going to walk from side to side. So if you've rolled forward, that's fine, it's a little bit less pressured. If you've kept the body nice and long and straight and kept the spine straight, therefore, try and keep the head tucked, the chin tucked rather, and then wherever you are, walking to the right and left. So you will feel this possibly more in your hips, but you might can find those big lat muscles as you walk from side to side. Take a couple from to each side, just walking across, keeping moving on the breath. And notice those massive lat muscles and whether they feel tight on the side of your back, running up the sides of your back. Once you've done a couple, swap legs and do the same thing, but with your legs crossed in the other way. And maybe go to the left this time just to change it up. And see if you can feel the lat muscles easing off. Maybe it's not your lat muscles, maybe it's your hips that you're feeling tight here. Hips are very involved, obviously, with the back of the body. So the pelvis is part of the back of the body, part of the front of the body as well. But from what we're talking about today, the pelvis is part of it. The iliofemoral ligament, muscle, joins the pelvis to the femur. You just stop on one side in your side bend sort of thing here. The iliofemoral is moving through your pelvis and joining to the top of your femur here. And it's not muscle, it's the strongest ligament in your body. So when they're tight, The back can often be tight. Walk to the other side and just finish on the opposite side so that you've done both. So if that ligament, which ligaments are not as easy to open, if it's tight, then you will also often have lower back pain. And that's where yin yoga comes particularly into it. Okay, rolling back up now to seated. Grabbing your strap again, wherever it is. And taking your strap in front of us. Take it really wide in your hands because we're going to take the over the head thing here. So find your breath again. Find that diaphragmatic breath. That is a muscle that is part of your back body as well as your front body, remember. So inhaling, really breathe out into your chest cavity particularly and open up the diaphragm and take the hands over the head and behind you. If that's not for you, then take another movement by just taking the hands up and down. And then maybe forward and back. So if you can't do it with a strap, don't feel you have to. But if you can, inhale over one way, exhale the other. And thinking of the diaphragm, thinking of the Uddiyana Bandha to draw back to support the lower back here. Not all of us are made to sit cross-legged. I find it quite difficult. It's partly because I've got that lower lumbar curve, extended lower lumbar curve. So, you know, we're all made differently. Some of you will sit here and it will be really comfortable. Others, like me, will be really having to work to hold your back nice and steady and straight. Okay, so bringing the hands down. We're going to take cow face now. So swap legs now to do cow face. Or you can come up onto your knees, which sometimes I do just because I feel I get into this pose a little bit more in my arms. Cow face, you can also do your legs in a different position and cross legs, but I don't go into that. It gets too complicated for me. It's more like a pigeon seated, cross-legged feeling, but it's not one for me. So take a seated position that you're comfortable with. The strap we're going to pop over our shoulder, holding on to it with my right hand here. We're going to take our elbow up then. So you've got a nice long line here through your tricep. And you're going to have your elbow nice and close to the ear. So feel that elbow joint is really reaching up towards the ceiling. So your hands drop down with the strap behind you. Take the other arm out and then facing the palm forwards first of all. Rotate the palm and rotate right up through to your shoulder joint in that rotation. And then fold the arm or take the arm behind you, folding it to catch a hold of the strap. Now, some of you can do that, and one side I can do this without the strap. Doesn't really matter, but hold the strap today. Just walk up the strap, even if you then find your fingers touch. But what you're thinking of here is really opening up that tricep on one side and the front of the shoulder on the other. But to do that, use that spot between your shoulder blades and draw it together again on the back of your body. And then you should really feel this front shoulder with the arm that's folded up your back. You should really feel it open and breathe. What I'm doing here, I've just realised, is extending my lumbar curve. So I need to draw my tummy in and draw my spine back so that I'm back more in alignment over my hips. So be careful of tummies doing this one. And just breathing into that diaphragmatic area again. And then releasing, carefully unfolding. Have a little shake out through those shoulders and then come to the other side. If you're cross-legged, change legs if you would like to. So other side, up, folded, oops, strap behind you. Again, try and keep that elbow up. Now this is my weird shoulder, so it doesn't quite do what I want it to do. We've all got weird bits, haven't we? Well, I've got a lot of them. The other hand goes out, rotate so that your palm faces backwards, but rotate right through the arm up to the shoulder and then fold the arm behind you and catch a hold of whatever. You can use your jumper here. This is a good one to do just throughout the day actually. Think of drawing your shoulder blades together to open up that front of the folded arm, the back arm. Draw your tummy in, get rid of that lumbar curve. Might can feel your primary curve a little bit there. See if you can make it into a little bit more of a back bend, but just drawing the shoulder blades back together. And breathing. And then release and pop the strap down by your feet. We're going to take a roll up now just to do a couple of standing poses. So tuck your toes, come onto your toes into a really fetal position, into a really curved position, and then just slowly rolling up. So opening up the legs a bit, looking along the floor, slowly rolling up in your own time. Don't need to do it in the breath. Take your time, come up slowly. And opening up into Tadasana. Somebody on here wanted a nip. Okay, so I haven't got my glasses on again. So we're moving into chair pose now. So chair pose, you can do with your feet hip distance apart, or you can take your feet together, whichever feels more stable for you. I quite like it with my feet together. So we are sitting down backwards into that chair. So remember, your bottom goes back and you fold down into this position, sort of skier position for you guys that go skiing. Then think of the body. So you really want to lift up through that front body, draw back through your back body. So draw your shoulder blades together. And then if you want to, you can come just into prayer hands this morning. If you want to, you can do the full thing, hands above the head. But we're going to do 3 up and downs. Once you feel you've got your tummy tucked, bottom tucked, chest open, sink down a little bit more if you can. And then just gently raise up. And then sink back down to that exact same position you just come out of. So no having to align yourself again. Keep that tummy engaged, keep that bottom tucked under a little bit. A little bit of a pelvic tilt feeling here to engage through the glutes. If you want to step out or step in and try the other foot position, see which one you feel more stable on. Don't take the legs wide though, make sure your feet are either under your hips or together. Just take a few more of those, just moving up and down through the hips. We're using this to warm up our thighs again for the next pose that we're about to do. So when you're ready, you can stop. Legs should feel a little bit warmer. Take your strap. We're going to go into dancer now with the strap. What we're thinking of here is the flexibility of the spine because, if you're going to use the strap, you need to have either a little foothold or just use the strap on your foot hooked on. The flexibility of the spine. The spine is able to form 2/3 of a circle. I mean, you will see people that can contort themselves into a full circle, but I don't think that's quite natural and it's not particularly good for you. Anyway, so standing on your left leg, take your foot in your strap, fold your knee and take the leg out behind you. Now it's a bit like going into warrior 3 here. You're kicking that heel up and back. This isn't working for me with the strap. I'm going to do it without. With the strap, it should probably be over your shoulder and in a hoop, but I didn't have it ready in time. So if you want to come out of it and put your strap into a little hoop, it's easier, and then have it over your shoulder. Otherwise, come with me and try wobbling. So the foot is behind you. Then take your arm, if you've not got the strap, take your right hand and catch your right foot or your trousers. Okay. So then we're going to kick the foot back into that back hand. If you've got a wall or a chair and need to hold it, please do. Okay, so we're kicking the foot back, we're opening up that warmed up thigh now. And then the body leans forward slightly, at the hip joint. But then we're going to roll the heart open and look forward. So you get more of a curve in the back of the body. And then you can lift your arm if you want to try that as well. Or hold on to something. Think of the curve in the spine really, rather than anything else we're trying to think of here. And then release the foot back down. It's a bit of a challenge this morning without the strap. Okay, so same thing on the other side. If you really wobbled and your strap wasn't right, fix the strap. B, get a wall or a chair and practice with that. Otherwise, on to the right leg. Foot in the left hand this time, left foot. Kicking that foot back first of all, opening up through the thigh. Folding gently over, whoops, not as steady on this side, gently over the front leg. And then thinking of the curve in your spine by rolling open the chest area and looking forward. Hand can come up if you want. Another tip is sometimes to put your hand to the inside of the foot on the back leg, saves the leg kicking out. And think of how curvy you've got your spine. I've certainly not got it into 2/3 of a circle. And then come out carefully. That was a bit of a challenge for the last one. Oh, and then we're just going to swan dive back down to the floor. So arms up above the head. Release yourself into that nice roll forward into a swan dive. Hands to the floor, knees to the floor, and then bring yourself back down to the floor. How does the back of the body feel now? So take your strap one more time, and we're going to come into half happy baby just with the strap this morning. So take your right foot and the ball of the foot into the strap, holding the strap in your right hand, and then gently drawing your knee to the outside of your body, so under your armpit feeling. The other leg's just stabilising you, so don't worry where it is, as long as it feels comfortable. Just giving that hip a little bit of an opener there. And releasing. And then you come to the other side, so take the happy baby on the other side. Just releasing a little bit around the glutes, which I've worked hard there. So opening and stretching them a little bit while they're warm. And then release the strap. Come back into Anatomical, one knee at a time. Have a little roll through your back again. Have a little massage. Rocking from side to side. Does the back feel like it's done some work now? It works for you all day, but actually we don't do precise movements with it usually. And it's when we go to lift something and we haven't really thought about the back that we often also don't think about alignment, and that's when people have problems. Just roll off any tension that you have made in that area of you. Then pop your feet to the floor. Come into 5-star and really reach out and open. And then slowly release. Draw everything back in towards your body. Still staying in the shape of 5-star, but just allow everything to come back into the back of the body and release. And then stretch and open again. The NHS actually say with back pain and lower back pain, the core actually causes us more problems. People think about the core, which it does support the back, but they actually say what you need to do is learn to relax the core. So think of just drawing back inwards as you release in and out of 5-star here. Think of just letting go of all the muscles and letting them regain position in their own, that elasticity that brings them back to base. They say it's a bit like if you sprain your wrist and then you tense your fist to protect it. That's what the core does. If you've hurt your back, often the core goes into a tense, tight state to support it, but actually what it's doing is pulling on that area even more. So we need to learn sometimes also to release the core. Come back into Shavasana now, just for the last couple of minutes. Take a breath here, right down into your back body. So really think of spreading your back with the inhale, and then exhaling, releasing it, and allowing it all to come back in like that elastic that's been stretched, and it comes back into shape. And here's just a few facts about our back while you're lying here. Approximate annual cost of back pain to the UK. This will astound some of you. 1.4 billion pounds to the NHS. This is annual back pain, they reckon. 31 million work days are lost a year. 22% of long-term sickness absence is back pain. They were talking a lot about that yesterday in the news. Not particularly back pain, but long-term sickness. 1.5 million GP consultations. 500,000 hospital admissions. Lower back pain is the single leading cause of disability worldwide. And 90% of lower back pain is non-specific, i.e. no obvious underlying cause. So quite startling, some of those figures, I thought. And therefore, again, it's education. People need to learn to look after their bodies, to look after their backs, particularly. Because once something starts niggling, even though there doesn't seem to be an underlying cause, you know it's there. And a lot of these people, it's real, this back pain. But funnily enough, studying yoga, I did read that 25% of pain is real, the rest is not particularly. So all weird figures there, just to have a think about. Some of them you maybe dispute where they've come from. So, but the annual figures are somewhere around those figures, and it's quite startling. So look after your back. Okay, so take a couple of breaths now, in and exhale through your mouth before we move. Relaxing and releasing those core muscles just off again. Relaxing and releasing your back muscles that have worked hard. Those massive ones that we've worked, particularly your glutes, they're the biggest in your body. And remember that your spine also holds your central nervous system. So by releasing here through your breath, you're stabilizing your central nervous system through your spinal column as well. So when you're ready, have a stretch, stay in Shavasana if you want to, come back up to seated, we'll finish here. And see if your back feels that you've actually worked it. Mine actually does, but I probably need to do something to release it again. So don't allow it to tense up. Make sure you do release off. We don't have much time here, so do release off and do a few stretches afterwards in standing or seated or on your back, whichever. But you know enough yoga now to do something and to feel your body and know what it needs to have done to it. Maybe a roll up, roll down would be enough. Okay, so everybody, thank you for joining me again on the mat. Last one in November, but hopefully back in December in new places. So it'd be quite weird not to be teaching from here. I've taught you all for so long from this room. It's quite sad, really. I can't presume the next room will look quite so beautiful with a garden, etc. behind it. But the yoga will still be enjoyable, hopefully. So thank you, everybody, for your patience and your love through the internet. That sounds a bit weird. And see you soon, hopefully. Namaste.